Our next speaker, contestant S4233, with the program entitled What You Expected.
This is a pity story of a scared young black boy with nothing left in the world who masters pain with precision. And it all came down to one decision. Will you get overlooked, or will you force yourself into the world's vision and give it all for your God-given mission? Growing up, I was always curious about the world, but it's that same innocence that got me burned. So the good times I had as a kid, I can't trust anymore. Only memories I still carry with me are the lessons I learned. But it's always about the I until the you turn. Self and worth never found themselves in the same sentence with me. I was always told I could do great things, but what I did wrong was the only thing I could see. A failure was the only thing I thought it could be. Who needs friends who turn into enemies when the person you see in the mirror every single day is the one who causes your doom? Then at 10, I found my mom dead in her room. And I didn't do anything about it, so if I was already doubting myself after that, what was I supposed to assume? What you see in front of you isn't a man who's living out his plans, it's someone who's struggling to give a damn about himself in a world where you get taxed for trying. And if I said that I was A-okay, then I'd be lying, because no one can see the sea of grief I drowned myself in, and I built up an illusion of strength I've been forced to make last. If I look you in your eyes, I look past your soul, because my head solely lives in the past. But I bet you're wondering, don't you still have a dad? Well, nah, he decided to add a lesson to my adolescence, denying me his presence. I called 2 men father before I found out when it came to my life, my real dad didn't bother. So for a father figure I'm done trying to pursue, I had to learn to write down my pain in my poetry, because at least the sting of my words will stay where he chose not to. If I'm 18 already without either of my parents, what does that say about my fate? They say the grass is greener on the other side, but if I'm colorblind because of my pain, is it really worth the wait? I carry a heavy burden. I make no gains from my trials. The only thing I got is muscle memory through trauma. It's literally not worth the wait. There's a world where I wasn't standing in front of you right now. I was almost awarded a state, but my older sister took me in and made a way, and for that I'm grateful every day. But that didn't stop the internal turmoil that chose to stay, and my response was to carefully craft a mask. And suddenly, the sensitive kid who took everything personally showed up with a smile to class. And that's what the world wants to see. Nobody wants to see your insecurities on your sleeve or your trauma on your shirt. Can you wrap it up into something presentable? Because your answer decides your worth. But I didn't get that memo, and just accepted that maybe I wasn't meant to matter. That I'm just another black kid up here telling you my pain, that you probably won't even remember my story or my name. And when I look back on my life full of regrets, I'll have nobody but myself to blame. But that was never my full story. That was just the first chapter. I never had anything in life, so I had to learn to be more ambitious than everybody around me, even when they responded with laughter. And when I speak up, people always find it hard to listen. Only sentence expected out of me is how long of when I'm serving in prison. But I didn't come here to present my life as some type of tragic drama. When life is a marathon and I run on like I don't got experience with commas. And I'll stand on top by the end. My legs got resistance, because every single day I've literally had to prove that I'm worthy of my existence. So I lied to you at the start. This isn't some pity story where I tell you the tragedy of how I'm black and give you reason to feel sorry for me. This is a twist story where, yes, I'm black, but this black boy is defying every little thing you think he couldn't be. Yes, I'm a man with a pain past, but I'm still worth it. And if you doubt that, just know that the most beautiful paintings on this planet were a mess of lines before they were picture perfect. This is a triumph story of a determined young black boy with nothing promised to him in the world, who treated his pain with precision. And it all came down to one decision. Will I get overlooked, or will I force myself into the world's vision, give it all for my God-given mission, and make sure that my tragedy is just the setup for the version of me that's more efficient. My name is Nathaniel Occean. Not trauma, and definitely not bad circumstances. I've experienced those things, yes, but that's not who I am. And I'm gonna keep carrying myself with pride despite my flaws because I have a mission. One not given to anybody else. And by the way, I'm not still here to prove to anybody that I'm still worthy of life. I'm still here to prove it to myself.